I was talking to NEET rank 38 Dr. Arman this year, couple of days back in Mumbai, and he made a beautiful statement when he had come to speak in Autism Bilaka. सर अगर हम यहाँ तक बचे ना और अगर अभी तक हमारे साथ सब कुछ ठीक हुआ है तो आगे भी ठीक होगा. This is one belief that everybody should have. If anything had to go wrong, it would have gone wrong till now. And if God has made you survive beautifully to this level, then everything else will be good in your life. Example, every house in India dreams there should be a doctor in the house. And you are so precious. All those who are listening to this video, you are so precious. You're all doctors. Everybody can take away anything from you, but one thing nobody can take from you is this prefix. आप सब बहुत valuable हैं and you will always have positive to contribute. So start your preparation with a positive belief कि यहाँ तक अगर अच्छा हुआ है तो और भी अच्छा होगा. You have fought to reach here. You have gone through to grow and you will further grow. This is what I say. Dr. Gobind Rai Garg will now brief you about how to start that positive preparation in the years those matters like internship and post-internship.
Well said, Dr. Apurv. बहुत बढ़िया कहा आपने. So the most important thing for any entrance exam or for that matter anything in life is to be confident. Unless you are yourself sure that I can do it, nothing will happen. Yeah? So I will start with these words that you must be confident yourself and everyone can do everything. Yeah? So the only important difference is the confidence. Yeah? So now regarding how to prepare, first of all you should have a broad idea what is the pattern of questions that being asked. Yeah? So we will try to provide you the basic type of pattern which are being asked in the exams these days. In every subject you will find it, and based on that you should start your preparation. Yeah? So you should get a broad idea what is expected of that particular subject from a student. Yeah? So again we will reiterate same thing. Don't go for rare things. Do the common things because common things are asked common.
So sir said you have to read pattern wise and topic wise. So your focus principally is that whatever are the repeated topics, they should not be wrong. वो गलत नहीं होना चाहिए. You have to get them right. If you get those repeat topics correct, I promise, we promise, you'll be rank 1. Now I got a call, sir. इस बार 17 questions came in NEET and एक question आपने class में नहीं पढ़ाया. One question was not taught. I asked, what happened to those 16 which I had taught? And the answer was, sir, उसमें से I got 4 wrong. Now these 4 will hurt you, that one will not hurt you. Yeah. Now if you get 16 by 16, you are far above the national average. The topper got 1006 out of 1200. Means if you get 16 out of 17 correct, you'll be overshooting that mark, that percentage. Imagine. So this is what is the focus. Don't worry about new things. Worry about what has come because जो आया है वही आएगा. What has come will come again. For example, if this is internal rotation of shoulder, this has come in the exam. Next time external नहीं आएगा, internal ही आएगा because internal is more significant. So whatever is significant, that will come. This is a rule. A student who does well in the exam never ever will increase a topic. He will fight. ये मैं क्यों पढ़ूं? And the student who is not selected will say, मुझे important लगा. According to me, it is important. You have to ask 2 questions. तुम कौन? और तुम्हारी feeling क्या? This is what? It is a non-emotional preparation. It is absolutely done without heart, with practical mind of what he said 5 times, go through the circle. Going once will not work. This is what is the rule. So sir, if somebody wants to prepare, the role of practicing MCQs is of paramount importance.
Definitely.
So what do you want to speak about practicing MCQs?
So MCQs, I think you should have a habit of practicing the MCQs continuously. 2-3 things I will like to reiterate. The first and the most important thing is the students have a habit that they do the MCQ and see the answer sideways. That is a very wrong method to do the MCQs. What happens is when you see the answer simultaneously, most of the times you are not thinking about the MCQ. So you just do the MCQ for the sake of doing the MCQ because you have listened the answer, you have seen the answer, but you have not thought about the other 3 options. Okay? So what I advise is whenever you do the MCQ, always do 50 or 100 or 200 at a stretch. Never do one MCQ and see the answer. So after doing some significant number of MCQs, then see the answer. What you will gain in this is now when you are doing the MCQ without watching the answer, you are thinking about all the 4 options. Only then you are marking, because if you are not thinking, later on slight change in the question will change your answer, and that will hurt you. So one thing that is important, don't do the MCQs and see the answer simultaneously. Second important thing, you should have a habit of sitting long time. Like in All India, you need to sit for 3.5 hours. So that is a very big thing. If you have not practiced, your mind will shut off in 1 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and last 1 hour will be wasted. So you should have a habit of that. So try to give, if not daily, at least twice a week minimum, you give a time in which continuously 3.5 hours you sit and solve MCQ, particularly if you can in front of computer. Okay? So that will give you a basic preparation for the exam, so that in the exam you don't get tired. Okay? So that is what I want to say.
So sir said practice on computer, because finally you have to write the exam on computer. If you want to learn swimming, go and swim. Don't read a book on swimming. If you read a book on swimming and you go to the pool, you'll drown. So if you do not know how to handle computer, it has to be a real life situation. It has to be section A for NEET, section B for NEET, section C for NEET. You must know how to switch over. You must know how to practice. You must know review and mark. In which exam mark is equal to a score in which you, if you not confirm, is not. For example, in AIMS, if you do not confirm your answer, it will not be counted if it is under review. For example, in NEET, if it is marked for a review, mark the answer and keep it for review. It's very logical. If you are short of time in the end, which you might be, you never know, then your answer will be considered. This is so important. And this is what he said, learn the pattern, what is going to come. If you do not know this pitch is going to behave how, you will never score. There are pitches where people choose batting first and bowling first. It is just not that we can chase better, so we will chase in every game. Those strategies have to be thought about. Otherwise, it will never work. One more thing I want to say. 3 biggest causes of error which people do because of lack of practice of MCQs, which sir said. Number 1, they don't read all 4 options, they mark the first answer. First answer हमेशा धोखा होता है, चाहे जिंदगी हो चाहे क्वेश्चन हो. So never ever mark the first answer. Don't go with that reflex. Number 2, never ever overlook or mistake none or an except. Look for them. Sometimes none and except they go together. So none है तो except भी हो सकता है, except तो none हो सकता है. Both can be there. And number 3, you are facing the computer. So it's laterally inverted. Uska right आपका left है. So basically right is right and left is left, and there is no difference. So remember, don't confuse right and left. Don't miss none or except. Most important, always look at all the 4 options. If you don't do that, it's going to hurt you big time. One thing which he said, develop a habit of sitting for 3.5 to 4 hours. Why did he do that? Because people, for first 30 minutes or 15 minutes, are doing the formalities and they start with the paper. Normal individuals sit for 2.5 hours, and by the end of the paper, which is so crucial for you to think, because sometimes in the initial part, you take time to warm up. People don't analyze, and then at the end, they are restless. To get away this anxiety, I suggest 3:30 to 7 is the most important time in the evening where NEET exam took place, and that's the biggest exam to which majority of you will get a seat. So develop a habit routinely. Sir suggested twice a week. I may suggest more frequently, but what you should practice is during this time, you should try to solve MCQs, because finally your brain in this time will be tuned over months. His time pe will be solving questions and will be able to reject the options to reach the right option. And one more time I would like to suggest, if you want to go on, is morning 10 to 1:30. Because these are 2 times where you should be maximum alert for writing any paper. So we will start with how to go about in internship, sir. What should be your priority in choosing which subject to do? Or first, a student can choose. Second, we can give them a plan, sir. How should a student choose that this is the order in which I should prepare?
So first of all, it is all dependent upon the student, because different students have different study patterns, and I will not try to change that thing. First of all, if you are comfortable with anything, you should go with that. But keeping in mind the how much scores you can score from that subjects. Like some subjects are there from which many questions come, but the subjects are too vast, and if you spend too much time on them, they will eat up your time for other subjects. And some subjects they have lesser value, and if you spend too much time on them, again your time is lost. Clear? So the most important thing what I want to stress is you need to choose the high yield subjects. High yield subjects means significant number of questions are also asked, and that also they will not take too much time. Clear? So according to me, the 6 most high yield subjects, they include pharmacology, pathology, PSM, obs gynae, anatomy, and microbiology. These 6 subjects, they will not take that much time, but they are very high yield, because if you do pharmacology, pathology, microbiology carefully, then you can solve many questions of medicine also. Yeah? So don't think that in pharmacology only 20 questions are asked, but if you are doing it carefully, you will answer 10 questions of medicine also. Yeah? So that's why these subjects are high yield subjects. So I will advise that if you are choosing yourself, more time will be spent on these subjects, and rather than spending 1.5 months, 2 months to just one subject like medicine, because 30-35 questions are asked of that, it will not be a wise decision, because you need to revise everything minimum 4 to 5 times, and if you spend 1.5 months for one subject, you won't be able to do that. Yeah. Now second thing, we can try to give you an idea how to choose that. If you yourself want to choose, it's your option. No problem with that, but the only important thing is you should have a proper timetable so that you are able to finish all the subjects by August. That is the minimum thing you need to do. Okay? So now if we want to give you, so we will divide it into 4 or 5 parts. With a fixed duration we will allot for everything. So I will advise you to start with these 6 or most important subjects. Yeah? So for every subject we can give you the timetable, like for these 6 subjects, where you do pharmacology, I will advise along with pharmacology you can do anesthesia, because most of it is related. So give 10 plus 3 days, that means 10 days for pharmacology, 3 days for anesthesia. Then you can study pathology in 10 days, similarly PSM in 10 days, obs gynae again 10 days, and similarly microbiology and anatomy also 10 days. So devote 10 days for each of these subjects plus 3 for anesthesia. So total this will include 63 days. So in these 63 days, what I will advise is first listen to the videos, and while listening to the videos, keep the notes side by side and keep on adding anything or correcting anything if there is mistake in the notes, and then solve the MCQs from the add the important point in the notes again, and when the subject is complete, then give the test, and again if anything extra you can find, add in the notes only. The basic idea is after these 10 days you should have a crisp notes, so which you can revise again and again. And suppose you find something very interesting in the videos or something which you will forget later on, you think important is, then you can add that timing in the notes itself, so that you will listen to that portion of the video only later on. The most important thing is after completing these subjects in 10-15 days, whatever time you are allotting, so there should be a crisp study material which you can revise again and again. Yeah, so that is the basic idea. So first 6 or 7 subjects I have covered. The rest Dr. Apurv will tell you.
Right. So sir has made it very clear that how did we give you these days, right? So sir has come to this point. Sir calculated that we have about 550 to 600 hours of videos in PrepLadder app. When we have 550 to 600 hours of videos, we have divided it over time till August, which we have about 5 months and about 8 to 10 days. Now what sir has done is he has prioritized the first 7 subjects with 3 P's, pharma, path and PSM, with micro, gynae, obs and anatomy, and pharma has got a lot of linkage with anesthesia, so being taken together. And what he suggests is that you will have a fixed number of hours every day which you will allot to the app, which he will just tell us, along with the practice of MCQs. But what is the key thing he said? You should have a basic notes. In those notes, add the videos points that you want to add. Write down along the specific topic which one you need to revise and highlight with the red color. Make a star so that when you come back to this after 3-4 months, you know I need to see this video, as the topic will be mentioned there. And also sir, if you suggest, we can bookmark the MCQs so that we can quickly go through them, and we know out of 700-800 MCQs which are there in anatomy, I have got these 60-70 MCQs.
Definitely, that
this
must
we
be
should see.
Definitely,
because ये 70 क्वेश्चन तो आएंगे. क्या आएगा? नवंबर एम्स में जो आया वो मई में आएगा, जो मई में आएगा वो नवंबर में आएगा, ये तो आना चाहिए.
Definitely.
So if you don't know last 2 papers, पेपर ही मत दो. So you must know those questions that should be identified. So this is how we have decided. Going further, what we suggest is we can link subjects together which are connected. So the combination which I would like to say next is we can take up physio, because that will help me solve a lot of medicine together, and then connected things together in medicine is pediatrics and derma. Harrison is a beautiful book that mentions about derma, and we have a very reliable book in derma. Dr. Manish Soni has come out with his book on dermatology. It's a beautiful book along with Dr. Neena Khanna's book. We can use them integrated together to see all the images. Derma is mainly image based that will come. If you don't see those common images, it's a gross error. And very, very common images are frequently repeated. And now when we talk about physiology, it can take about 6 days. Medicine is a huge thing, is individual, can take between 12 to 14 days. Pediatrics, when you do with medicine, will take 6 days, otherwise it takes 8 to 9 days. So doing them together integrates and reduces the burden. And derma, we will do 4 days. So this is roughly about 30-32 days in which you will do mainly the medicine principles. And this will be about 35 to 40 questions in entrance exam, which is a huge proportion. So starting with the majority of second prof subjects, we go on to the final year, which integrates one subject in the first prof. This is the combination you should do. And subsequently, since you're doing the clinical subjects, the next combo that we suggest is that you take up surgery, you take up ortho, and majority of them will have radiological science. So radio. So radio basically doesn't have one point, it's come from all places. But yes, radiology lectures are beautifully given in PrepLadder app. You can see all the signs which are very well important. Surgery again is very important. Remember, never underestimate the power of Harrison or a medicine book to cover surgery. Surgery is beautifully given in Harrison or other medicine books, because a lot of things are overlapping. So do not neglect them totally. That is why in many surgery books you have a reference of Harrison. This is one reason. Then you have ortho, and then you have radio, divided into 4 days for radiology, 5 days for ortho, and 15 days for surgery. This schedule, although is custom made along the hours that we have in PrepLadder, but this is also the schedule which people follow in the pre-app eras. So it is basically an overlapping schedule which a student can use as a guideline, but yes, they have been custom made according to the app. And then you have got these days, which will be total of 24 days. Next, sir, we'll talk about some subjects related to ENT, ophtha, and psychiatry. Your words on it, sir.
So now the rest of the subjects, again, I will like to divide them into 2 parts. One is for ENT and ophthalmology, and along with that, you can cover psychiatry also. So I will advise to give around 6 days each for ENT and ophthalmology, and another 4 days for psychiatry. Yeah. So in these 15-16 days, you should be able to cover these 3 subjects. And then the remaining subjects like biochemistry and forensic medicine, I have kept it for last, because these are very volatile subjects and these are very high yield subjects. So if you do there at the last, you are more likely to remember them later on also. So I will advise to keep a week for biochemistry, around 7 days, and another 5 days for forensic medicine. So near about 12 days for these. So by the end of August, you should have completed everything. So this is the basic thing you need to do, because you must have 3 to 4 months, minimum 3 to 4 months for revision.
So 145 days schedule is what we have given you. They have been club day wise. We have given you around 155 to 160 days to complete it. Understanding that we all are human beings. We are not robots. We have got custom made programs. What sir suggests, that do we have breaks after each subject or after each set?
So depending upon the time, if you are able to complete the subjects which we have chosen in lesser time, then you can keep that as a break. Like if you are given 10 days for a subject and you are able to complete in 9 days, so you can keep that 1 day as a break. And if you are not able to do that, then I will advise that at least after one set, you will keep a break for 1 or maybe 2 days also.
Right. One more thing I want to talk. You will never be depressed, because you will have jokes by Dr. Gobind Garg in his app. You will have motivational sessions in every app. So there will be things which will boost you up. Along with that, teachers of PrepLadder are all specialists of 19 subjects who have taken care and given their life to teaching. Teaching is not a profession, it's a passion. ये जुनून है, ये पागलपन है. And all the 19 teachers are throughout available for all the students of PrepLadder or not PrepLadder. They are responsible for the entire medical students community, and that is why one of the most important feature that we have is ask a query. Can you entertain that, sir? Because the maximum number of queries are being asked to the man himself. He answers queries throughout the day. Sir से जब भी बात करो, आज मैंने 100 query answer करी, आज मैंने 80 query answer करी. He is absorbed into it. What is the power of that query and how students should utilize that?
Definitely, that's a great feature. You will not find out this feature anywhere else because you are in direct touch with the teacher, which is world's best in the PrepLadder, you can say. So these ask a doubt feature should be used very carefully, because I think I've seen that daily I used to answer around 80 to 100 questions, and out of the 80 to 100 questions, around 50 or 60 are good questions, but around 30 or to 40 questions just to pass your time. So I will advise that use this feature very carefully, because the teacher has lesser time. So they are spending a lot of time in answering your queries. So may ask the relevant questions, but don't hesitate to ask the questions. So whatever doubt you have, remember, no doubt is silly. If it is a doubt, you have to ask. So you have got the golden opportunity. So use this feature and we keep on answering. Sometimes there are some delays, because if we are busy in some classes or somewhere, then we'll answer after 3-4 days whenever we get the time. But definitely your query will be answered. So use this feature judiciously.
We are responsible for you.
Definitely.
It is not a one-time thing that you have taken a subscription and then your responsibility is over. It starts there. Our responsibility is till the time your results come. Definitely. One more thing I want to tell you, we have a Facebook premium group. You are most welcome to entertain important things there. Apart from the app, we answer queries there as well. That's a group which is an academic group for the premium users of PrepLadder. So that is a high utility area where all the 19 faculties of PrepLadder are a part, and it's like a family where we can integrate. What I believe is what sir said. अगर हमसे नहीं पूछोगे तो किससे पूछोगे? So there's nothing called as silly. What he just said. We are all students of science. We are at different level. That's the only difference. We are all learning. If our students would not have given us feedbacks and not asked us questions, probably our knowledge would not have been enriched the way it is today. We are all thankful to you. Right, sir?
Now, one thing I want to stress upon more. Many times the students ask me that you have given very less content, or this teacher has given very less content. So I want to stress that if a teacher has given less content, it's a boon for you. So if you are wanting to solve around 20 questions from pharmacology, and you can answer 18 from 25 hours of videos, and will you like to solve 19 questions by studying 75 hours of videos? No, obviously that doesn't make sense. So I have done earlier an experiment of water bottle also. You must have seen that experiment. So the prime job of a teacher is to filter the content which is required for student. So if we are giving everything given in the book, then there is no use of us. You can study all the books. You have textbooks, you have MCQ books, you have so many things. So if a teacher has given some content, believe in it. So don't think that you need to study this extra, but first of all, complete the PrepLadder app. Complete that app, study 5 times. If you are able to remember everything from that app, only then think about anything else. Only think after doing this thing. So that I want to stress, believe your teachers.
So what he says is trust your teachers. They have experience. उन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी बिताई है. They have spent their life in reaching to the level wherever they are today, and that's out of experience. They have searched one line which is key. It can never be sufficient in 19 subjects in medical science, but there is essential, and teachers are giving you essential. And if you know essential, trust me, people are crossing 1,000 now, remembering essentials about 1,200. So what sir said, trust the content that has been given. It is stamped. It's like a legal certificate from a teacher. This is enough for you if you remember on that day. This is what he said. Apart from this, I would also like to touch here the test and discussion module if a student has taken up, if his preparation has been decently good, or one particular subject if a student takes from the app in which he feels weak. So if somebody has taken a T&D schedule, you can plan your schedule independently in PrepLadder app, which feature is not available anywhere else. In fact, TND schedule is not available anywhere else. You have a TND schedule in which what you can do is you can divide your subjects according to the significance in the exam as the major subjects which have more than 20 questions and the other ones which are minor subjects, and then you can categorize with major minor alternatingly so that you can do the subjects integrated. Some people combine clinical, paraclinical, but what is most significant is stick to your plan. I'll give you an example. If you have kept 4 days for ortho and 3 days for radio, for example, in your revision, if you have customized this module, 4th day ke end pe ortho will never be over. Not even rank 1 university topper, not even I can complete ortho on day 4. Nobody can do that, right? But at the end of day 4, you have to stop ortho because day 5 has to radio start. If you do not do that, you will never qualify an entrance exam, because this is the key point, and that is why you study significance wise. So when you study significance wise, whatever is at the end might be lost. Doesn't matter, because you will have covered the majority. This is the Pareto principle. If you know 20 to 30% of the majority thing, you score 80%. And if you know that, you can never falter. So make a customized schedule, but most important is stick to that schedule. Along with the TND, sir, what practice of MCQs do you suggest?
Along with if a student has opted for only test and discussion, they have not opted for complete package, because if the student has opted for complete package, all the MCQs are given in the app itself. So the student don't need to see anything else. Only student need to do anything else after solving these MCQs. Okay? But for the students who have opted for TND, so I will advise you, most of the teachers, they have already their books in the market. So you can practice the MCQs from those books and then appear for TND. And simultaneously, again, I will stress, make your notes and add the important things on those notes, because finally these notes will help you much more than anything else.
Whatever is correct will be correct. Keep one source together. This is what, and keep on revising this. Right? Thank you, sir.